Testing. Okay, hello everyone. This is your friend Silverton, and this is my first video tutorial with GameMaker. Yeah, you can make this with Light or Pro, doesn't matter. And this is a tutorial for those of you who are fairly new to GameMaker. This would definitely fall under a beginning category. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. Today, we are going to be making a game sort of like this. If it ever loads. Loading. 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 Okay, so you use the arrow keys and the spacebar to jump. You pick up the little smiley faces that give you score. You're trying to get to the top of the game. Of the platform. Pretty basic to make, pretty basic platform game. Nothing special. But the skills that you will learn in making this game will definitely help you in future games that you may have to make. Okay, what we're basically going to cover is jumping. Sprite changing, the very, basic movement. I'm sure you already know that. But I noticed that jumping is something that a lot of people have problems with. Now, I only use 8 sprites in this, okay? No, 9. Now, I could have done this differently, but for the learning, I have 2 sprites for my player. One of him facing right, and one of him facing left. Okay? Simple. So, and then I have a sprite, which I never use, so I guess it is 8 sprites. But I have a flat platform, a platform facing this way for the walls, and a platform facing the other way for the walls. I have the door of light, which is how you win, and I have the little smiley faces. Once you draw the sprites, and I am sure you could draw better than me, we're going to create an object. And I already have this game done, but it's called Object. I did not label this, I'm sorry, but Object 0. Now, you can use either sprite, left or right. I use right. I'm right-handed. Okay, but we're going to start with the basic movement. Okay, key press left. Now, it doesn't really matter if it's key press or keyboard. I mean, you could do key press or keyboard. But in this case, I used key press. Doesn't really matter, but key press left and key press right. Now, we go to key press right. Now, ignore this top action. He's going to move right, so select what arrows, at a speed of 6. 6. I know that some of you are probably thinking about, yeah, let's go 50, but you shouldn't really do that. Just start with 6. Good basic speed. Now, we want our player to change sprites in the direction of which he is moving. Under the tab main 1, there's this action. You drag it under the move thing. And it's 0, 0. Change it to sprite right. The sprite of him facing right. Then you can do the same thing with the left. Oh no, he's moving left at a speed of 6, and he's changing into sprite left. Okay, so very simple. What I had was I had score, alarm system. In fact, might as well just get out of the way right now. Let me teach you about alarms, if you don't know about them already. The alarm system in GameMaker is a way for keeping timing. It's the very basicest of the alarm systems. We would add event, create. Now under the tab main 2, there is timing. Drag this action in. And number of steps, that equals something, I'm not really sure, but I know that 100 steps will be equal to about 5 seconds, give or take, in alarm 0. So I'm setting it to 20 steps in alarm 0. Add event, alarm 0. If you were using alarm 1 here, then you would use add event alarm 1, but we're using 0. Now here at alarm 0, make sure that you set the number of steps the same as how you did in create, and it will perform the action below it. Now what I do is, for the score system in this game, I set the score so you get 10 score every second about. And make sure you check relative. Now what this does is, it's saying you're adding 10 to the score. If you didn't do this, it would just be like 10, 10, 10. It would stay at 10. So make sure it's relative. Okay? So that's how you, and you could do any action there. I mean, but that's, you know, that's the basicest way to keep time in GameMaker. Now, jumping. Well, if you run the game, you notice there isn't even any gravity at all. So we're gonna do jumping. Add event step. So the step event is my favorite and probably the most complicated event there is in GameMaker. Now I worked out the easiest jumping example I could make, and it's not the best, but you saw in the game it works. It definitely works. Now I'll explain this to you very detailed. Like, under the tab Control, there is check empty, and this is important. X equals 0, Y 1. Objects only solid. Check relative. I'll explain this in a minute. Now, it's saying if this blah 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 is happening, to perform the action below it. And the action below it is under tab move. That action is set the gravity. Set the gravity. Now direction direction 270. Direction 270, gravity 5. Now direction 270 is straight down, okay? And the gravity is 0.5. Now, under the tab Control, there is the action other, else. Drag else there. And there, it's just else. I mean, look, if I drag else, nothing to set. So what this is saying is, blah blah blah, if these two actions are happening, it will blah blah blah. But if it's, the else is saying, but if it's not happening, it will do whatever's below. And below is set the gravity 270, but this time it's gravity 0. No gravity, so you will not fall. Okay? Now, blah blah blah. That you're still not jumping yet. We just added gravity. If you run the game, you'll fall. You'll fall. And you'll build up speed as you're falling. But we want to jump, right? In fact, you know, I encourage you to run the game and you'll just fall. If you know about creating rooms, I would hope. Okay, this icon up here creates a room. You can place objects in the room. Simple as that. So, now you fall, but we want to jump. What I use for jumping is spacebar. So add event, key press space. Right here. Now, under the tab Control, there is this action if there's a blah blah blah. No. It's question. Yeah, right here. This action here. If there is a collision, is what it's saying. Check collision. X equals 0. Make sure you set Y to 1. Only solid. And check relative. Boom. Okay. So what this is saying is if there's a collision at a solid object. So it's saying that if you are standing on a platform so that you could jump. A solid platform. So, but okay, so now set the vertical speed. This is gonna, so you're gonna go up. So it's under the tab move and it's right here. Set it to -12. The lower you make the 12, the lower your jump. The higher you make that number, the higher you'll jump. Keep it at 12. Don't go to 100. It just will slow up the game. It's just not. Okay.